Welcome to Quality Crowns. I'm Ashante.
And I'm Lori, and welcome to our Queendom. Hi.
What's up, y'all? Hope you're doing well. So, this week we are going to do a quick review of Nine Perfect Strangers. We mentioned last week that we were reading this book and that there's going to be an upcoming series about it. So, we thought we'll go ahead and do our little review of the book, watch the series when it comes out, and then do a review to compare the book to the movie. So if you plan on reading the book, spoiler alert, we'll be giving out some of the details of the book. But we do hope that maybe you'll join us. This can kind of be like an unofficial book club kind of like thing. So go ahead and read it and then be ready to watch the movie and then come back and discuss with us in the comment section about the movie and the book itself. So before we get started though, be sure you hit the subscription button, like and share our videos. So, Nine Perfect Strangers. Lori, I'm gonna let you go ahead and start and lead this since you were familiar with the author and some of her previous work, right?
Yeah, so Liane Moriarty wrote this book, and then you told me that she also wrote a book that inspired The Undoing. I didn't know that piece of it, but
I was searching for something, and you told me what Big Little Liars. Is that the name of that?
Big Little Lies, and I read Big Little Lies and The Husband's Secret. I read those two books previously.
So I heard of Big Little Liars, and I know it was a HBO series. I did not watch it. So when I was looking her up, that came up, and then The Undoing, and I was like, oh, The Undoing. I just watched that a few months ago. So I was like, oh, I didn't know she was behind that as well. So I was like, oh, cool. So I was a little familiar with some of her work then after hearing about that. But that's the only thing I guess I watched it. I didn't read the book. So, and you know how movies can totally be different sometimes from the book and all of that. So I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So a friend recommended this book and she said it was like a solid read, but once I like to read books that are about to be made into something. I don't know why. I like to compare it. I like to watch and see if I understood or made up in my mind the characters that it kind of matches a movie or something. So when I heard it was going to be made into a movie, which I thought it was a movie, but it's a miniseries, I was like, oh, I definitely want to read it. So I had no good expectations of what this was supposed to be about. I was just like, oh, I thought it was going to be like the typical somebody gets murdered, there's a mystery, you just got to figure out what's going on. No,
like that
it's not
that
at all. One of the things I do like about her writing style is that every chapter is a person. So it takes on the style of writing is different, not style of writing, but maybe the voice, the tone of the chapter is different because it's supposed to be for each person that's each character
that's her style of writing for all of her books, or was that just
well, I can't remember The Husband's Secret if it was written like that, but for sure Big Little Lies was written like that, where each character had their own chapter and it was kind of written in their perspective. Okay. So I recognized for this one, that's how it was too. So I like that because then it's like it changes kind of like, oh, this person viewed this way, and there's some overlapping things that happen, and you kind of see it from two different perspectives. So I kind of like that style of writing. So basically, the premise of this book is 9 people sign up for this retreat, like a wellness retreat in the middle of basically nowhere. And so they go there. There's like a family of 3, there's like a couple, and then there's like all the rest of them are like single people that show up to this retreat. And it's like super expensive. It's super lush. They all have their own suite. Go ahead.
In Australia. I'm just going to give the location.
Oh, yeah.
So this is based in Australia.
All her books are set in Australia. Yeah. So, and we listened to it. So we listened to it in an Australian accent too.
That was
So
hard for me. I
I forgot because, like, the first two, of course, I read them hard copy. So it's my voice. You know what I mean? I make up how people sound or whatever. So listening to it with the accent, I was just like, okay, yeah, okay.
Everybody
But I
sounds
don't,
the same.
well, it's the same reader.
I
Did they have
know.
more? I think they, yeah, they only have one narrator for
That's
this
fine.
because some of them have like multiple. But yeah, I like Australian accents for some reason. But I'm gonna make it there one day. Somebody's already made it here to that. I was about to say state, to that continent, but I'm gonna make it there one day.
I'll
So
go again. We can go together.
yeah, I definitely want to go for sure. And then I want to go to New Zealand too. Okay, sorry. We'll talk about dream travels on another episode. So they all go to this retreat and it's just funny, you know, they meet each other and as soon as they get there, they get like rules. So they had rules before they got there that they weren't supposed to bring alcohol, they weren't supposed to bring food, they weren't supposed to bring certain things. And of course, people try to bring whatever they want because they're going there for what was the length of the retreat? 10 days?
10 days? Oh, I think 10
15?
days.
10
I think
days.
10.
So they're just like, we'll go on 10 days and not have to bring nothing. But they still gonna try to smuggle things in.
Right.
So they get there, they start meeting people, and they get rules on the very first day. And the first rule is that we are gonna do a code of silence from this point on for the next 5 days. You're not supposed to look at anybody. You're not supposed to, like, no eye contact. You're not supposed to say anything. You're supposed to just keep your head down, do your own thing. Don't read. You can't read.
Can't
You
read.
can't have cell phones. You can't have any electronics. Nothing.
All about like self
Nothing for 5
meditation.
days.
Just, yep.
Right. Do you feel like you could do that? Just not say a single word, not read a book, not look on your phone, whatever, for because it was 5 days that they had to do this.
It would be a challenge. It would definitely be a challenge. I don't think it would be hard per se. I think after a day or two, I probably could get used to it. Mainly because I feel like sometimes I'm isolated. I'm living alone. Maybe text, not necessarily talk on the phone with people. So I probably could after a while, but it would take me a minute to get used to it. But that seemed to occur with the
No, what would you do all day? Like, what would you do? Like, I could do that if I had a book or like something that I could look at, but what would you do all day?
So I think depending on the location, right, the environment you're in. So being at this wellness place, they could work out. They had a pool. They had like a spa. So I feel like there's things that you could do that could take your mind off that you don't have to worry about talking or whatever. Now, if it was just me within my four walls and I can't do that, yeah, that'll be a little tougher. Go for walks, I guess. Just kind of, but if I was stuck within four walls, that would definitely be much
Yeah.
harder.
Yeah. I think I just reading the book, I think the hardest people that had to deal with that were the couples or the families who were in the same room with each other and you weren't supposed to look at them. You weren't supposed to like husbands and wives weren't supposed to be hunching. No, nothing. No kissing, no nothing. You were supposed to do nothing. And I'm just like, how you go? Okay, sure. So, so the couples are, well, I don't know if we want to go through each character now or later.
Go through it now.
So, okay, so there is a family of three. So there's okay, husband, wife, and their daughter. And their daughter is like maybe 18 or 19 or something like that.
20, because her
Or
birthday was coming up
20. She
while
about
they
to
were in
turn
the game.
20. So then there's a writer who's there by herself. There was like an old football player that was there who's kind of a celebrity. There's another
Football
guy
as in
there.
soccer. just to clarify.
Soccer. Yeah. I don't know what the other guy was, like an ex-police or something, or some. I don't remember what
A
his full
lawyer?
background was.
Which one? Lars?
Oh, lawyer.
Yeah, he
No,
was
no,
a
no.
lawyer.
Yeah, the lawyer. He was
Mm-hmm.
gay, right?
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Right. So he's like a marriage lawyer. Then there was the lady Carmel who was there by
Carl.
herself,
Yes.
who had four girls, but she went there by herself. She was divorced.
Mm-hmm.
And was that all the characters?
And then the
All the
married
people that went to the
couple,
retreat?
the lawyer. I mean, not the lawyer. The
Oh,
lottery
yes.
winners. The husband and wife lottery winners.
Lottery winners. Yes. So there was like a couple that won the lottery recently. And so those were the attendees, but then you had the owner of the retreat, Marsha. Then you had like two people that were employed there that did like the meditation, that did the spa, that did everything that was going on there. And then that was all the people that were at the retreat. So um so they're going through, they have to drink whatever or eat and drink everything that they give them. During the silence, they only were going to drink smoothies every day to, I guess, help flush out their system from the normal toxic world and be refreshed. So
Right.
I was just like,
So
okay, first of all, I'm gonna have a problem.
I was gonna say, so they're all were there for different reasons, right? Some were there just to kind of like relax and just
Mm,
um recharge. And then some were there to try to rebuild their relationships among each other. And then some were there specifically to try to lose weight. So they all kind of had their own purposes, but they all kind of went together. So the smoothie and the limited food that they were provided benefited some the ones that really were trying to lose weight, but at the same time again it kind of helped with like that whole detoxing of the system and recharging, all of that. So these smoothies play an important role, later on we'll get to, but they had only smoothies to drink up to a certain point of time, and then they were going to go on an actual fast where they were not going to be eating or drinking anything for a period of time.
right, right. So basically, we just follow the characters through the silence. We kind of get to know their background, kind of why they're there. We also learn more information about Marsha, the wellness, uh, whatever she is,
Leader,
owner.
yeah.
Yeah, leader. So she's reading through their bio, trying to figure out, more information about them because they had like an intake form, but of course, people don't put everything on there. And she's supposed to be doing like some kind of session with them, kind of counseling sessions to see
One-on-one.
how the can help them, right? And so she's finding more information. And then through her character arc, we're seeing that she's actually spying on them. There's cameras and listening devices all out throughout the thing. So people are leaving and she's like, oh, this one broke the silence, or she's just watching people and how they're reacting to being there. So so you're like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Wait, you spying on people too? Do they know
Yep.
this?
No.
So 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 then I don't know if there's like much more in between before we get to like the end of the silence into the fast. Do you have anything else?
No.
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 All right. So because I mean, they're just, kind of watching people, but not, you can't watch. And then they're doing their spa days, they're doing their yoga, their meditation, whatever. So they go down to this like cave thing, that's on another part of the place because it's like a big, like 5 acre or something like that. So they go down to this historic cave and they're gonna have like this big meditation, um, big meditation session.
Oh, this
and
was
they
in the
have to
middle of
have
the
like
night,
one.
right? They came and woke them up in
Yeah,
the middle of the night.
yeah,
Take
yeah.
them to do like kind of like a Starglaze yoga session in the middle of the
Yes.
night. Mm-hmm.
Right. So they were supposed to have this one last smoothie before they go into their fast. And they're like, drink up. Yeah, drink this smoothie. And so one of the ladies is like, why are we even here? What do you want us to do? And they were like, we just want you to meditate and think about all and everything that you have to think about and let go of your feelings or whatever. And so they had all these cots, like little beds or whatever in there. And they were supposed to lay on there and kind of think about their issues. And so they're having a conversation with the leader, and they're just like, something feels wrong. And there's a nurse, one of the couple that came with their daughter. They were like, I don't feel right. And something is going on. She was like, what did you put in this smoothie? And she was like, it was nothing much. It's called microdosing. And I was just like, what? She was like, microdosing of what? She was like, it's just a small dose of LSD that I've been giving you guys since you got here and been drinking these smoothies. They almost killed her.
Drugging these people since they got there with LSD. Well, certain people got LSD.
Oh, yeah.
Some people got MD?
Yeah, ecstasy.
Yeah,
And
that one. And yeah, this lady's been drugging these people. And one of the attendees who normally goes to these different retreats, he has done the drug before. So he was kind of like, oh, this is nothing. I like this one. This is
right.
feeling good. So
he was feeling good. He was just like, all right. So they all lay on, well, not all, but most of them lay on the cots, and they're seeing colors. They're seeing like people they haven't seen in years, dead people, just like dealing with all kinds of stuff. Okay. So the two other people that were there, Yao and Delilah, they going around and just making sure people are okay and giving them like little headphones and just talking them through. This is their counseling session. Okay.
mm-hmm.
And one of the guys were just like, I can't be on drugs. I go crazy when I'm on drugs. And he just having a whole fit. But then it's also like the walls are moving and the colors are coming. So it's like too late.
They were tripping. Microdosing or not, they were tripping. They were feeling them drugs.
So they're going through that whole process, and then they end up leaving all the people that work there, end up leaving them in there and locking them in this cave. So after everybody's like recovering from, the drugs are wearing off, they're trying to figure, okay, we've been down here forever. It feels like it's time to go. And they're starving, okay, because they want the fast, but now they're mad because they were drugged. So they're ready to go. So they try to leave, and they're locked in this cave. So then they were like, what the heck? We can't get out of here. So they're dealing with that whole thing. Then from the perspective of like the staff, Marsha's like, yeah, they need to figure out how to get out. So I guess there was a plan for them to figure out like an escape room,
like a test. Mm-hmm.
How to get out of the room after you done drugged me and I'm hungry. Listen.
Don't play with Lori like that. Listen. Don't play with Lori, especially no food.
So she was like, yeah, this is all part of the plan. And so I'm trying to think. So there's like a box or something in there. So I guess they figure it out eventually, and they get the box down and they realize the box is empty. So they're like, wait a minute, we did all of this and the box is empty. So one of the staff was like, wait, you were supposed to put whatever in there so they can get out. And she was like, she held it, she took it out of her desk and was just like, yeah, but they need to learn how to deal with real situations, okay, so that they can recover from whatever issue they're dealing with. And the man was like, what? And the lady was like, I'm out of here. So she out of here. She's like, we gonna get sued. We are gonna get in trouble.
Drugging people. Yeah. She was like, they calling the police on us as soon as they get out. She was like, gotta go.
She steals the lottery winner's Lamborghini and was like, Chuck the deuces, got out of there. Okay. So it was just the two people left. So it's just the leader and this other dude, Yao. So he kind of had a little crush on her. So he was just trying to convince her, I don't think we should be doing this. Like, this was the whole lesson. So you got to let them out. So she was just like, oh, okay, really? I'm going to put you to sleep too. So she just injects something and he went to sleep.
Knocked him out.
So we're like, what in the world?
I'm like, Marsha is gone crazy at this point and reading the book. I'm like, she done drug these people and now she done drug Yao and then they go back to her and she's watching them, right? The people that's in the group. She's smoking a cigarette, eating Doritos. I was like,
and she high too.
And she drinking the smoothies now herself. I was like, Lord, these poor people. She
high. So then she starts thinking about her childhood and how she was in Russia and how she had to stand in line for food and they don't know how to struggle. And I guess that's when she comes up with the idea to make them believe that they're going to be on fire. So she creates a sound to make it sound like there's a fire and then she puts smoke in there somehow. I don't know. But she made them like get like forcefully like worked up. And I guess at that point is when she opened the door, but they didn't know that the door was open. Like she unlocked it. So they were in there thinking they were going to be burned alive and they're trying to figure out how to get out. And she is just cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs with these bag of Doritos. There's a lot more in there, but it was just like, what? So I'm thinking at this point, they're going to get out and they're going to kill this lady because that's what my MO would be. You're going to die. So they finally figured out how to get out. They checked again, door was open, they got out. So they go out, they trying to find, everybody's gone. They can't find nobody. They're looking for Yao, they looking for Marsha, they running around. And then there was, I don't know how the police got there. They said they found Delilah and the car.
Yeah, so at the beginning, one of the main characters was getting a massage. And the masseuse there was telling her about her boyfriend who happened to be this cop. So he ran into Delilah who had stolen the car and told the masseuse about what happened. And I was about to sneeze, y'all. Sorry. It's gone away. So she was like, something don't sound right. Like, and they go to the place. But back up too. So at one point, you could see when Marsha was looking in, it kind of was a videotape in the sky kind of like thing. So they could see her. And they could see behind her Yao when she had drugged him. And they were kind of like, well, what's going on with him? Why is he all right or whatever? So fast forward, when they got out, Yao had woken up and had put food out for them to eat. And one of the characters was like, is he really like acting like nothing just happened? Like we weren't just trapped in here for the last couple of days and all of this. And that's when
but they was acting like they were supposed to eat that food. I would have still been hungry. I'm not eating nothing else.
Yeah.
Nothing. And they end up staying there that same night because they were like, oh, it's really late. We don't want to be on the road so late. First of all, you made it through without getting murdered because this cop is here. I really wanted her to be murdered, but it didn't happen. And you think I'm going to eat anything here? Anything.
Or stay here? Yeah.
And stay there. They had a whole dinner party with just characters.
Police escort me out of here. Back to the next big town or whatever. But yeah, no, they decided, we're going to stay overnight. All of them decided to stay overnight.
Because they took Marsha. They arrested her. Took her. But
and Yao.
And Yao? Okay.
And yeah, they took her.
no. I was like, something gonna happen to these people. They just stayed there one whole night. They celebrated because it was gonna be Zoe's birthday and
Mm-hmm.
her twin brother. You figured that piece out. And so they had a whole dinner party. They baked a cake. They were just having a good old time. And I would be like, they probably still on that LSD.
I mean, yeah, because it probably had built up in their system, and they started drinking because Zoe snuck in. She was actually able to sneak in some wine, and
Yeah.
they were all drinking, and they all kind of like passed out until the next morning, and then they all went their separate ways. Um, and I thought, oh, okay, I thought that was going to be the end of the book, but then they come back and do these like 1 week later, 1 month later, kind of like updates about them.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Marsha, more crazy than we thought she was. At least I thought she was. I'm like, what in the world? So she did go to jail for a little bit.
Yeah.
And then she comes out, and what she basically was doing it again. Well, yeah, we're skipping a lot. We're not telling you everything, right? So go back and read it because there's still more craziness about Marsha in the book. But she's back doing these kind of like health things, but on the low. So it's in private locations. You're not telling them what's happening or things like that.
At least now the people know what they're signing up for.
And it sounds like those are the people like, oh, that sounds interesting. Yeah, sign me up.
But at least you know what you get. You
going
brought
into
these people here. They thinking they just gonna chill or whatever. You just surprise drugging them and then locking them up somewhere. So no, don't do that to me. Let me sign up for what I need to sign up for. That makes more sense to me. But sorry, go ahead.
So that also brings me back to at the very beginning, one of the characters that was getting the massage. And the masseuse was like, don't do anything you don't feel comfortable in doing. And so later, when she comes with her boyfriend, the cop, she was like, is that what you meant when you said don't do things I shouldn't be doing? She was like, no, I meant like burpees. Like, if you don't feel comfortable in doing burpees, I had no idea this lady was this crazy, was going to be drugging you.
Because this was so kind of going back to that too. She has been running this retreat for like a couple years now, right? Mm-hmm. But this was the first time that she implemented this whole microdosing thing. Like before, she was trying to change people by doing regular methods. And I guess she was like, people were not being transformed enough. So we need to, like, they did this whole research about LSD and how it's acceptable in certain sciences and how it works or whatever. So we're like, we're gonna try that. So they get the LSD on the black market, they figure out how to do the dosing, and then you think that's a good idea to do to these people. Girl, what? Huh? So yeah, so they do these little mini things. And I guess at the end of the book, the whole purpose, I think, was when they did little snippets of everybody's life, they did improve from this situation. They either did exactly what they were supposed to do, either getting a divorce or moving on or losing weight or having more positive body image or whatever. So in essence, it was kind of like, oh, well, this did work. You know, even though it was probably unorthodox and, you know, unapproved, it did work for these people, you know. So I guess that's how that ended it at the end. But I really wanted her to die. I need somebody to die in my books. I don't know why. It's just going to stay alive. It's just ridiculous. But I don't know. So hopefully the miniseries, I don't know. I hope there's a little surprise to it where they change up something. But I hope it also is.
They don't have to change up some things, right? I think especially making it an American miniseries. It's just some things I don't think that would happen in Australia within the book that would transfer to the American version of the characters and the storyline. So, but it'll be interesting to see how they keep it, especially with some of the actors that they've chosen to play these roles, which we'll get into in a little bit.
I know Big Little Lies was pretty close to the book. There
It
was
was.
a little nuance, yeah, but it was pretty close to what happened in the book. But they stretched it out because usually it's just like a movie and they just go through the whole thing. But this was like, you learn more about the characters because it was like, it's 2 seasons of that. I didn't even watch the second season, but the first season was kind of pretty on par with what happened. So we'll see.
Okay.
So
you want to get into the characters and who's playing whom in the miniseries?
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I thought it was a pretty good match for that when you told me those.
I am familiar with some of these people, but not all. Okay, so the main character is Marsha, who is being played by Nicole Kidman, who is actually an Australian actress. So I wonder if she's gonna. She'll probably keep her Australian accent. No,
because she was in Big Little Lies too. I'm like, why are they using the same person?
Oh, and it's not an Australian accent because Marsha is Russian. So is she gonna have a Russian accent? That's what
She might try. Don't do that.
Melissa McCarthy plays Frances.
Makes sense.
What do you think so far of the casting?
I think those are perfect.
Perfect. Okay.
Like as soon as you told me Melissa McCarthy was in there, I was like, I didn't even know who the people were. You just told me the actors, and I was like, I already know who she gonna play. When you said Nicole Kidman, I know who she gonna play. The rest of them, it could go either way, but those two, perfect match. Oh yeah.
Okay. Samara Weaving is playing Jessica. I'm not familiar with her. Luke Evans is playing Lars. I've seen his face before, but I can't think of where I've seen him in. Seen him in. But I'm looking at their faces, the actors. I don't know. He looks like Lars. Like looking at his face. Zoe is played by Grace Van Patten. Not familiar with her. Yao is played by Manny Jacinto. I am familiar with him. I watched The Good Place and he played on that. And so I totally could see him playing the character because at one part on The Good Place, he had to play this like monk who took a vow of silence. And I just see him as in this character as the working at the retreat and things like that. So I think that was a good match as well. Regina Hall is playing Carmel. And initially I was like, Regina Hall? How is she playing this? I knew she was in it, but I didn't know what character until I got to the character in the book. I'm still kind of like, let me see how they pull that one off. But that's the only character in the book that I could see her playing.
Yeah. I don't see her playing anything. Well, it just depends on who her husband would be. Like if she was one of the lottery like the wife of the lottery winner, she could play that too. But it was very specific. Like I want to be a Kardashian, so that would be kind of hard. So Carmel, yeah, that's probably it.
Yeah.
Or Delilah. I can see her doing Delilah.
Oh, you do Delilah. So Delilah is being played by Tiffany Boone. She was on the first season of The Chi. If you watch the Showtime series The Chi, she played that main character's girlfriend or real estate agent. That's who's playing Delilah. Michael Shannon is playing Napoleon. I've seen his face before, but can't tell you what he's played in. Bobby Cannavale is playing Tony. He played Homecoming. Did you see? Is it Homecoming that was on Amazon Prime? He was on the second season. Oh yeah, I think that was the second season. He always played kind of like that villain kind of like role.
Yeah,
he's playing Tony. Melvin Gregg is playing Ben, who's the husband of Jessica. He played on Man Boy on Snowfall, if you watch Snowfall. Asher Ketty is Heather. Not familiar with her. And then the last character, Zach, who is the twin of Zoe, is being played by Hal Compston.
So I guess he'll have a bigger role than the book in terms of, well, maybe not.
Maybe not.
That drug scene, that's where he was the most, yeah, okay. Okay, I'm looking forward to it. When did you say it was going to come out again?
It is going to be on Hulu, and it starts on August 18th.
All right, get y'all Hulu subscription because y'all can't be doing password sharing out there. So
get the free trial
and watch it. So watch it with us, and we'll do some reviews on it. I wonder if they're gonna release it all at once, or they're gonna do. I think nowadays they release stuff all at once.
They're trying. Netflix does, but Hulu sometimes does.
They do
like maybe. Like Handmaid's Tale is weekly. I think they'll do like the first couple episodes, and then every week they release something. So
we could do that then. That'll be fun. I'm looking forward to it. Any other good reads, Ashante, that we can recommend?
None that I can mention at the moment. I just started reading Born a Crime, the Trevor Noah biography. I've heard of that one for a while. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to start reading that. So it's been interesting so far. Okay. I just got started. What about you? What are you reading now?
I'm reading two things at the same time. So hard copy, I'm reading The Couple Next Door. Let me see who this thing is. By Shari Lapina. That was recommended to me. I like it so far. I'm about a quarter of the way through. And I'm listening to, I finished this week The Flight Attendant, which I didn't realize was a series as well on HBO.
Oh, I've heard of the series. I didn't know that was based on a book.
I just started watching the series yesterday, because since I finished the book, I thought it was a movie, and I was like, oh, it's like 8 episodes. I was like, okay. And then now I'm reading The Guest List by, The Flight Attendant was by Chris Bohajian or something. And then The Guest List is by, I don't know who this is.
So wait, so you're reading 2 hard copy and listening to a book? Oh.
No, I'm listening to one and I'm reading a hard copy.
Okay.
Yeah. So The Guest List is by Lucy Foley.
Oh, that's
cool. Like Agatha Christie-esque. So reading to that one.
Reading.
Hard copy. It's hard to do hard copy now. It's super hard for me. Like every time I pick up a book, I was like, book! And she wants it to. And I'm like, okay, it's not gonna work. Like read your book, I read my book. But it don't work that way.
You ain't got there yet.
No.
Okay, cool. Yeah. So tell us, what are you reading? Anything you suggest that we can add? And we'll have like a unofficial book club that we can share different things, different books to read. So now, as always, we want to recognize Black excellence and name a Queen of the Week. Lori, who is our Queen of the Week?
This week, our Queen of the Week is Naomi Osaka. So I know you guys have heard of her. She is a Japanese professional tennis player, but she was born to a Japanese mother and a Haitian father. I'm not going to forget about the Haitians, okay? She's been ranked number 1 by the Women's Tennis Association and is the first Asian player to hold the top rankings in singles. She is a 4-time Grand Slam singles champion and is the reigning champion at the US and Australian Open. All of this, and she's only 23 years old. What was I doing at 23? Look at this. This is just crazy. So we want to recognize Naomi for just her fortitude in this space. And I know it's a lot of hard work just practicing and preparing and winning. So we just want to recognize you, give you your tiara, and also mention some of the stuff that's been in the news recently with her playing in the French Open over, I think about 2 weeks ago, she won, but she wasn't finished with the tournament. But there was some controversy around her not wanting to speak to the media after her last win. And she stated that I don't know if she stated it then, but she just wanted to skip it. So they end up finding her. And there was all this backlash by officials, not just like regular, fans or whatever, but about officials, French officials, basically, trying to call her a baby or saying that she's disrespectful to the craft or whatever. And so to combat that and to explain why she skipped it, she was stating that she is dealing with a lot of anxiety, and she in to help with her mental health, she decided to skip that piece after her win. And so it's much longer than that, but she came out and said that. And now, people started walking back their statements, and also other celebrities and athletes were going and, sticking up for her and just saying that was good to protect your mental health. And in that, she said, you know what, I'm done with the tournament. I don't need this. So I don't know. I don't want to say she quit, but she just
withdrew. She withdrew from playing in the French Open.
Because, to me, your mental health is going to be the catalyst to drive you to bigger and better things. So you don't need anybody to try to tell you what you have to do, what you don't have to do, when you have options. What do you think, Ashante?
I commend her for doing what she believed and protecting her throne and her mental health by saying, listen, I don't have to be subject to this. So let me look at my bank account. Oh, okay, I'm good. I can withdraw off this one. I'm gonna take me a little break. But at the same time, she's promoting mental health, which we know has been a really big issue that has finally gotten attention over the last few years. And she is still a young lady, like you said, 23, right? Mm-hmm. And, you're still trying to work stuff out in life and learn, and just so to have all that pressure, like just think it as a regular 23-year-old, the pressure we have. And then you on this big stage, mm-hmm. The world is seeing you. It's just a more pressure that I can just imagine how she's probably feeling, and to already have this social anxiety that probably is there regardless if she was the person she is, meaning on the stage, the world stage and things like that. So I commend her for taking control of the situation and doing what's best for her and her mental health.
I agree.
Yes.
Listen, I don't want to go into the whole money thing, but sometimes you have to do what's best for you, mm-hmm. no matter what the consequences are. I think she would have been fine if she just received the fine, because I'm sure she already know the consequences of skipping it. But it was all those, officials that were just basically trying to be like, you can't come in here and do this, and, trying to chin check her. She was just like, you know what? Let me tell y'all something. This is what we're going to do. And I'm hoping, because, one of her close mentors is Serena. So maybe she's picking up some stuff for Serena, because she don't take that crap either. She's like, you know what? Let me tell you where to stick it. Because I'm not doing all of this.
And she's such a big name in the sport right now, right? That any tournament, they want that name associated, so people come. They get more money by having people come to see. So her not participating, all the people that probably wanted to come to see her are kind of like, well, why? I don't need to go watch the French Open no more or go there. So it also is a blow to them. And there's
As it should
backlash.
be, as it should be, because I think that's another thing. When we don't speak up, then nothing changes. We just accept this as status quo, that you can force people to do all of these things without any consequence. How about figure out why people are skipping, or how, like, give more details. It can't just be all just one blanket statement for every single situation. Give me a break. So sometimes we do need to speak up, because there's going to be people behind her. I'm sure there, I think there was another, I can't remember her name now. Joffy? There's another tennis player that's really young too.
Oh,
And
Coco.
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 And, it's stuff like that where eventually people will stop, messing with these people when you have people that speak up on certain situations like this. So I'm
Well,
with you, girl.
we commend you, Naomi, in taking care of yourself and protecting your throne. And we want to make sure that all of our viewers, everyone, that you do the same. Do what you need to do to protect yourself, your mental health, your body, your physical, spiritual, whatever.
Yep.
So congratulations, Naomi, on being our Queen of the Week. And before we go, we want to remind you to subscribe, like, and share our videos.
Yes.
If you didn't catch last week, we are taking a break from doing Married at First Sight, which normally comes out on Saturdays, but we'll continue to do the Wednesday episodes like this one every week. So again, as we always do, and a perfect example with Naomi, we want to remind you to do what?
Protect your throne.
See you
Bye.
next week.